I'd have to say I don't I don't even know what he said. It was never brought up as in evidence. Um, so there's absolutely no case whatsoever presented for defamation.
No,
So
I agree.
the like his defense is all irrelevant. None of the elements of the case were made. We didn't even hear what he said, and that wasn't even proven by a preponderance of the evidence, so to speak.
I actually completely agree with you. Um, it was more about his beliefs and his political views than actually what was said that defamed him. And um, nothing was challenged, nothing was presented, there was no evidence put forward.
I agree with the no evidence for sure, but I do think that defamation is there a little bit. As much as I hate to say that because his views really irk me, but there was no evidence showing it either. So I agree with that with you guys.
There was
But I
one
do think
question
that
that was like midway through, and that question was obviously the allegation. Did you say I was going to kill white people?
yeah,
And the defendant replied and said, no, I stated my opinion, and he didn't challenge it. So he didn't put forward any evidence. He just accepted that and then went into um, his statements about Trump. So I didn't see
yeah.
any evidence put forward or anything to prove his claim.
That was during questioning though, so I don't know if he could do a statement at that time about it
He
No,
could
I'm.
because it was during
I.
questioning.
he could introduce evidence.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
though, the point would be he never said yes. He never agreed to what
Yeah.
the statement was, and
Yeah.
it seems to
Yeah.
me that's step one in presenting your case. So even if he went on about all his different opinions and used it as a platform to, you know, spread his ideology, that would have been fine if he had asked, the defendant, did you say this? Or presented a audio or
Mm-hmm.
video recording of it, or
It
even a
definitely,
quotation.
yeah. It would have been
Because
stronger.
I think it was very simply that there was like no case proven because we didn't even get to hear or even him attempt to say, hey, did you say this to me? Why did you say it? Do you have proof of those allegations that you made about me? Like there was nothing. It was just his own statements and opinions and beliefs.
Which is why I think he has a case for defamation. Because to say that someone's going to kill white people
I'm.
is a pretty strong thing to say, and I think Juror 2 might be talking, but I don't hear him.
I think you're getting it confused with what I'm saying. So I'm saying that the plaintiff was making the statement. He wasn't actually asking the questions when he was meant to ask the questions. He was instead making statements
Oh, I
and
agree. Yeah,
stating
I
his
agree with that.
opinions and his beliefs rather
Mm-hmm.
than actually asking questions um, about the whole reason why we're here, which is the allegation that he said this, it defamed him, it made him have damages. When asked the damages he had, he actually couldn't state any damages that he'd occurred from it.
See, that's where I disagree. I think that he proved that there was damages by saying that
What damages did he say he got?
that he could get killed by someone if someone thought that he was going to kill white people. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a fear,
but if he's
right?
testifying, he's proving that he didn't incur those damages.
And he didn't actually say he could get killed. He actually made several references to other people getting killed. He never said I could get killed. He listed the names of other people that have been killed.
Well, he said if he was dead, he couldn't run his business, but if he was dead, he couldn't testify. He obviously hasn't been killed, so that's
Yeah,
not damages that he's
yeah,
received.
yeah. That's yeah.
And he didn't. His entire line of questioning was an opening statement. He just
It
gave
was.
his opinion of
It
what
was.
the defendant said. He never actually quoted it, and every time he referred to it, he described it differently. And he never
Yeah.
asked the defendant if he said it.
No.
He did actually. He asked him, and then he said, "Not in those words," is what his answer was.
Right, he asked him about what he said, inferred what he said, put it in his question, loaded the
It
question
was
with it,
inferred. Yeah.
and then the defendant didn't say yes or no. He didn't answer whether or not he said that. He described the context, and he used the words "when I said what I said," which is not any kind of affirmation, to the question being asked.
That's true.
I would have to say step one in proving defamation would be proving there was a statement. We don't even know that a statement was made. Nobody proved by a preponderance of the evidence that anybody said anything.
I have to agree with that. That's true. That's true. He could have too by playing a
Right.
recording or something simple.
Yeah, he could have just played the clip of his show,
Yeah.
and then we would have known what we were arguing
Yeah.
about this whole time instead of Trump.
Yeah. No, exactly. Because I think if he stayed on target, he could have made his case. I think I agree with you guys that he didn't completely
So I'm
make
curious then, just in the interest of being thorough, what makes you say he would have been able to make his case if he stayed on target?
If he stayed on target and showed actual proof of him saying the other guy saying that he wanted all white people to be dead. If he had proof of that and he played that recording, I would call that defamation. If he had stayed on target and proven it, showed it, and told how it damaged him. But he didn't. So that's the hard part.
I mean, that's the easy part, though, right? That's
Yeah,
why it's
the
not
easy part.
defamation. He didn't start at step one of even proving that a thing was said.
No, that's a good point. They'll have to agree with you guys on that.
But I disagree because the defendant said quite clearly, that's just my opinion, because nobody said exactly what was apparently said, but the defendant did say, I was just stating my opinion, and obviously he's got the same opinions about Trump, that Trump's trying to kill all the non-white people. So if he's allowed his opinion, why isn't another person allowed the exact same opinion, but this time of him? Like
So,
vice versa opinions.
I wouldn't say that isn't what happened or that isn't the truth. I would just say that wasn't presented in court.
It wasn't presented.
Because he didn't say that's just my opinion. He said I just stated my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely wasn't presented in court. I'm just saying, like, in hindsight to the question of is an opinion like defamation, I don't believe giving an opinion on somebody would get to that level where it's defamation, where you would seek damages for it.
I disagree.
That's just somebody stating your opinion on somebody else.
It's an opinion, but it's also that opinion can cause some major damage. That opinion can cause a very big damage. That's what defamation is all about.
Well, that's not the standard for defamation. It would actually have to be considered a statement of fact.
Yeah.
Even if your opinion causes damages, it's not defamation.
So, say if I said, this person is going to kill loads of white people, or has killed loads of white people, or is trying to kill loads of white people by doing X, Y, and Z, and went into great detail, then that's me stating something as a fact when I know it isn't actually true. I have no evidence to back that up. It's just that's where defamation comes in. As far as stating an opinion, like, hey, I think this person is basically, they just hate all white people, or something like that. That's just me stating my opinion, and I don't think that would get to the legal threshold in a court to be classed as defamation. But that's just
Yeah,
my
I feel
opinion.
like. No, I get that. I feel like there just needs to be more evidence on both sides. There just wasn't
Right,
enough.
but there only needs to be evidence on one side, though,
One
right?
side.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the thing. So I would agree with you that the defendant did not properly prove he didn't say it. He didn't properly prove it wasn't defamation. His argument about trying to say that the plaintiff also committed defamation potentially was irrelevant and unconvincing. He did an absolutely terrible job of defending
He did.
himself,
He did.
but that doesn't matter. We
Yeah.
don't even know that a thing was said. Absolutely nothing was proven by the plaintiff. He
Good
hardly even brought it up, and when he brought it up, he brought it up out of context, indirectly, without getting an affirmative answer in
Yeah, I
his
feel like
line
he
of
was
questioning.
projecting a little, in my opinion. But yeah, I would have to agree. I think we're all on the same page.
All right, so another poll then, I guess, as to
Yeah.
whether or not we think Linwood is guilty of defamation, I guess, right?
Mhm.
I'd have to say no.
I would have to say
that,
no.
no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Third that.
Was that a unanimous verdict?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yay.
Um,
It was really
Okay.
hard to follow. I couldn't even really follow.
It was.
Whew,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was-
tough to sit through that.
It was really tough. I had to
I
sit
feel
there and
bad for
like,
Linwood.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
well,
was
well done for
really
keeping
hard.
up with it.
I kind of feel bad for Lauren.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, my gosh. I was thinking there's no way anybody could be more disrespectful than the previous
I know.
plaintiff.
I
And
know.
this was going to be, had to be better just because of the way they treated her in the last one. But this guy was even more disrespectful to her.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would. It was hard because I was on the fence with both of them, to be honest. But they didn't show enough proof.
None. There wasn't any proof on either side.
There wasn't
So,
anything.
yeah.
It wasn't even really brought up much.
No.
The whole
No.
thing was just, it became about politics and their beliefs, and
Absolutely.
The
it was
wall.
nothing to do with the allegations.